cute little Mr. Snuffles? Who's the cute Mr. Snuffles? There's a cat in this movie. That's why I'm doing that.
Captain Marvel.
Alright, so I just saw Captain Marvel. I was gonna see it yesterday, but I took a melatonin and that just knocked me out the whole day. But I saw it today, first showing, and it's packed. This movie's doing very well. I'm pretty sure it's gonna make a lot of money, and then we're gonna get a Captain Marvel 2, or Captain Marvel, or whatever the fuck you want to pronounce it. They say that in this movie, they go, it's actually pronounced Marvel. But I just left the theater, and what are my overall thoughts? Meh. Before I go into this review, let me just stress that I am not a fan of Marvel or DC comic movies. I don't give a crap about them. They're all the same. And leaving this movie, it hasn't changed my mind. It's yet another movie that's just the same as all of them, except not as good. But what's it about? Captain Marvel is about a woman named Veers, or is that her name really? Who wakes up, she's on this planet of Hala, and not the future, just some other galaxy. She doesn't know who she is, she doesn't know what she was, where she's from, but she's being trained to be a soldier to fight off these aliens. I forget their names, what their group is, they're aliens. But the aliens, they capture her and they try to dig into her brain to find out what she knows, what's in her brain. They want something, because they want to figure out if she is the key to get this device that can like help them get to different galaxies, some sort of light speed engine, whatever. But then she escapes them, and then she lands on Earth, and then our movie starts, and she's being followed by the aliens, and she's fighting the aliens, and these other people that were her friends are going to get her or extract her, blah blah blah. Let's get into it. I don't want to spoil too much, because this movie does have a couple of twists and turns in it, and let's dive into my, I'm gonna go with my pauses first, because it's gonna be quick. Pauses is, there was maybe one or two things that made me laugh. I enjoyed the cat in this movie. The cat was the funniest thing. Every time the cat was on screen, there was laughter in the audience, and I enjoyed the hell out of the cat. The cat was adorable. It reminded me of that cat in Men in Black. I liked the idea of these aliens being shapeshifters that could like manipulate you and like act like there's somebody, like your best friend, but they're really not, so it's kind of like the, kind of reminds me of The Thing, you know, because in The Thing, you don't know who's the thing. So you kind of got that thing going on here. But unfortunately, in my negatives, I would have to say that every time somebody was revealed to be a shapeshifter, it was like, yeah, I already know. It's so fucking obvious. Back to my pauses again. Alright, Stan Lee, they have a little tribute to Stan Lee at the beginning of this movie. This is one of the first Marvel movies to come out since his death. And he has a cameo in this movie. Just a small one. It's very quick, like 2 seconds. But isn't that how all Stan Lee cameos are? They're like 2 seconds. And I guess Brie Larson's beautiful. I don't know. The acting was good. I expect it to be. It's a high budget film. And I guess I like the fact that this movie takes place in 1995. It's a prequel to a lot of these Marvel movies that we've seen the past 10 years. So we got like blockbuster and grunge music. I'm not a fan of the music in this movie, but it matches the 90s. That's what it's trying to do. It's trying to sound 90s. But I just like the nostalgia because it takes place in 95, and that's the year I was born. But everything else is just negative. Alright, I did not like this movie that much. Quite at all, really. It was just kind of like, alright, this is happening, whatever. The action in this movie is saved for the last 15 minutes in this little train sequence here at the beginning, and that's it. So don't go into this thinking it's an action movie. It's not. It's just a weird Marvel movie that has a lot of just talking and talking. Weird comedy placed here, here, and here, and there, and it's very juvenile. I rolled my eyes a lot watching this. The comedy didn't land. Still trying to be spoiler free, I do want to ask one question. How the hell did Samuel L. Jackson get to the bar that Brie Larson was at, whatever her name is? How did he get there? How did he have time to go to the hospital, get his head fixed, you know, patched up, and then go to his autopsy, and then go all the way to this bar that Captain Marvel was at, and beat her there? How did he even know where she was going? Explain that to me. I don't like when movies like this try to put these little subliminal messages into them. I'm not going to dive into what they are, what they mean, but it's in here. There's even a reference that I'm pretty sure was a Trump joke where they said that Earth was a shithole. Is that referring to shithole countries? I think that's what that was. And yet again, we get that cliche Marvel stamp, that whole fucking post-credit sequence thing, except this one makes no sense. I haven't seen The Last Avengers, but it's just Brie Larson saying, "Where's Fury?" Is that supposed to mean something? Doesn't mean anything to me. This movie just didn't do anything. There was nothing in this movie that made me go, oh shit, wow, I didn't see that coming. That was amazing. Everything that happened, I was literally predicting it 10 to 30 seconds before it happened. It was just so predictable. It just beats all the same drums that every single Marvel movie does. The comedy is just fucking horrendous. It just keeps coming here and there, and it tries to be serious, and then it's just making you laugh. They're looking at alien dicks like it's funny. It's trying to compare sizes. It's stupid. I don't like it. This movie didn't do anything unique. It didn't do anything interesting. It didn't do anything that was like fun. Every fucking story direction, twist and turn, we've seen it before, and it was so predictable. But since I'm keeping this spoiler free, I can't dive into it and be like, well, explain yourself, Mr. Hat. What was so predictable? All of it. And since it's a prequel, it just purposely tries to throw in these things to like explain, why Fury has an eye patch and why they're called Avengers, why she's called Marvel. It's like, we don't need that. Just keep it a mystery. This is the first female Marvel movie. We got Wonder Woman the other, what was it, last year or 2016? And now we got Captain Marvel. And what a shame. This could have been so much better. So when it comes to Captain Marvel, this movie, if you want to see it, save your money, rent it at Redbox. This is just very mediocre. There's not much going on here. It's very cliche, generic, mediocre. I didn't really enjoy it that much, but there was some entertainment. Punching the granny in the face. We've seen it in the trailer, so it's spoiled. They take the one funny thing that probably would have made me laugh and just wasted it in a trailer, so now there was nothing to laugh at, except for the cat. The cat was probably the most fun part. But even what happens with the cat, all that, predictable. Did you not see that coming? How could you not? But I guess before I go, a quick positive would be that you don't really need to see any other of these 40 fucking Marvel movies to understand this one. You really don't. Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy, to understand who one of these people that shows up in this movie might be, to understand who that person is or what galaxy they're from. So maybe see Guardians of the Galaxy before this, but even that's not necessary. But yeah, this movie just wasn't good. Alright, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. But those are my thoughts on Captain Marvel. Have you seen this movie? Do you think it's great? Where do you put in your ranking of the Marvel movies? I don't have a ranking because I haven't seen all of them. Like I said, I'm not a superhero person. These movies are all the same. And they're not all the same in the good way like slasher movies. Alright? But go ahead and let me know what you thought about in the comments below. Tell me I'm wrong, whatever, fuck off. But if you agree with me, then go right ahead and hit that like button. And subscribe by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds to see more. And until next time, I'll see you soon.